Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri
Hare Krishna, Ishan.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Gaur Bhakta
So you just begin whenever you feel it's appropriate.
Yeah. Good time is now.
Okay.
So
Ah,
I don't know if you know one very wonderful devotee. He's with us today. His name is Vidura Prabhu, and he's been around a long time. And I met him in Soho Street actually when he was the vice president there. And yeah, he's got also very nice and lots of stuff to share with us. And hopefully we'll get him into giving class also soon. So there's three of us right now, me, you, and Vidura Prabhu, who is eyeing in and listening at the same time.
that's great. Vidura,
And it is already being streamed on YouTube also.
Vidura is the son of a Sudrani, but at the same time, the most pious of all the Pandavas, not the Pandavas, but the Dhritarashtra, Vidura. Okay. I would like to Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. In this slok, we're saying that Srila Prabhupada, although he's on this earth, he's completely surrendered to Lord Krishna. And that's why we surrender to him. Unless one has a Sri Radhe, unless one has a spiritual master who has an intimate relationship with Krishna, it's not possible. It is impossible for us to establish a personal relationship with Krishna. This we have to understand. The whole world has to understand that there's no way to implement, to bring into focus our relationship with Krishna except through through the association of a pure devotee, by the blessings of a pure devotee. He holds the key. As Srila Prabhupada wrote in his own Vyas Puja poetry, you hold the mace, adore your feet, your divine grace. So this has to be understood. We're reading today from the Nectar of Devotion, chapter 1. Chapter 1, entitled The Characteristics of Pure Devotional Service. Okay. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 29th chapter, 10th verse. Srila Kapila Dev, while instructing his mother, has given the following characteristics of pure devotional service. And this is what Srila Kapila Dev says to his mother. My dear mother, those who are my pure devotees and who have no desire for material benefit or philosophical speculation, they have their minds so much engaged in my service that they're never interested in asking me for anything except to be engaged in that service. They do not even beg to live in my abode with me. So let's look at this sentence of what a real devotee is. They have no desire for. Almost every religion on the planet is called Kaita Vidharma, cheating religions. Why? Because what is the real purpose of religion? The purpose of religion, now that we've come to the human form of life, Atato Brahma Jignasa, the Vedanta Sutra says that now that we've been in the material world for millions of births. We've been the fruit fly. We've been the cockroach. We've been the mouse. We've been the rat. We've been the tiger. We've been the ape. We've been everything. Always eating each other. always exploiting each other, killing each other. And now we've come to the human form. In the human form, now is the time to inquire, Atato Brahma Jignasa, what is the nature of the absolute truth? And the same Vedanta Sutra answers the question. Janma diyasya jataha, that the absolute truth is the source from which all manifestation emanates. Not only in that sense, the whole material world is Krishna, because it's Krishna's energy. In that sense, everything is Brahman, and the only thing that is not Brahman is our consciousness, that we see it as something else. I was listening yesterday to a lecture by Srila Prabhupada, and he was explaining like this. It is Krishna's inferior energy. It's not conscious. But it can be used. A pure devotee sees everything. Srila Prabhupada says, when you see a tree in that lecture, you don't see a tree, you see Krishna. Because it is Krishna's energy, and there's no difference between Krishna and Krishna's energies. So everything that we see, everything that we touch, we should recognize that Krishna is within every atom and between every atom. And we're sitting on Krishna, when we're standing on Krishna, where Krishna is supporting us, our every breath. And we are part and parcel of Krishna as well. Krishna's internal, Krishna's superior energy. We're marginal. We can become either devotees or we can become non-devotee. And it's completely our choice. Completely our choice. To those who are Tesham Satata Yuktanam, to those who are devoted and worship me with love, I'll give them the intelligence by which they can come to me. Krishna's in our heart. So we're reading that the real devotee, he has no desire for material benefit. Why? Because he's so satisfied within his heart. This is very, very important to understand. Why he's satisfied. This book is called The Nectar of Devotion. Bhakti Rasam Rita Sindhu. Bhakti is love of God, love of Krishna. Rasa means the taste of devotion. There's a taste of devotion. Amrita means eternal or immortal. This taste is, Krishna explains, Raja Vidya, Raja Goyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam, Pratyaksha Bhagamam Dharmyam, Shushukam Kartam Avyayam. Shushukam is very joyful process. Pratyaksha, why this Manmana Bhavamadva, always think of me, become my devotee. Why is joyful? Pratyaksha, it gives direct experience of oneself as pure spirit soul. Therefore, it's the king of knowledge. There's no need, as in said in this shloka by Kapila Dev, for philosophical speculation. All knowledge is there simply by becoming a devotee, because all knowledge leads to that conclusion. Bahunam janmanam ante, after millions of births, or after thousands of births. Jnanavan, one who's really has knowledge, a real jnani. Bahunam janmanam ante. Vasudeva Sarvamiti, he understands that the whole creation, material and spiritual, is all Krishna. He then, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Samahatma, such a great soul is very rare. So he has no desire for trying to understand. He already understands. A devotee already has that knowledge. So he has no desire for material benefit. All the religions in this world, people are praying. They're approaching God. For what? For enhancing their life in the material world. Give me the power to make everything work very nicely in this world. Give me the power to know that I can do all these things. I want to be an enjoyer of this world. This is called Kaitava Dharma, cheating religion. That means that every time when we leave our body, Srila Prabhupada says, if we have a pinch of material desire, Krishna will respond to that by sending us back into this material world. If we have any material desire still in our heart, Krishna will send us back into this material world so that we can enjoy them. We're here because we want to be here. We're here because we want sense gratification. We want to be the proprietor. We want to be the controller. And we want to be the enjoyer. Who's the real proprietor? It's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who's the real controller? Ishwara, Lord Brahma himself. Ishwara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarna Karanam. That the supreme controller, Ishwara, is Krishna. But we want to be in control. Therefore, we're so frustrated. Therefore, we become angry. As Krishna explains in chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita. And Arjuna says, what makes people act in such terrible ways in this material world? Right now, we have wars all over the planet. We have war in Ukraine. We have war in Palestine. We have the friction between the Pakistan and India. Everybody's on the verge of having a nuclear war or having a world war. And everyone has a financial interest. They call themselves governments. They're not governments. They're big businessmen who have taken charge of these different countries, and they consider each one wants to expand their ability to be in control so that they can exploit. And so when there's threat of war, this country aligns itself with that country, and that country aligns itself with that country. Why? Because their financial interests of these very big businessmen are at stake. So, but a pure devotee has no desire for, it says, material benefit. So people are in religion, Kaitava Dharma, cheating religions, where I mean, my dear Lord, we recognize you, so I'm praying to you for health. I'm praying to you for wealth. I'm praying to you for a good relationship. I'm praying to you for my political agenda. I'm praying to you for everything. What is that prayer? That let me enhance my material position in the material world. In other words, through religion itself, which is the goal is to become free of all material desire. Through religion itself, people are cultivating material desire and their attachment to living in the material world, to attachment to the thing. None of them will ever leave the material world until they get rid or give up, renounce this desire to enjoy material life. So Lord Kapila Deva is saying, my dear mother, those who are my real devotees, my pure devotee, They have no desire for any material benefit. Why is that? Bhakti Rasam Rita Sindhu. They're tasting the nectar of devotion. We have to really try to understand this. They're tasting the nectar of devotion. People are thinking, my God brothers tell me like this. They're thinking that if I do all of my sadhana very, very nicely and very with grim determination, one day I'll receive a blessing that I'll have a realization of Krishna, and then I'll fall in love with Krishna. They're thinking that when I have earned realization, then I'll have love. But that is not the conclusion of our scripture. The conclusion of our scripture is, as much as we have love, to that degree, Krishna will reveal himself to us. To that degree, our spiritual master will bless us with knowledge, with realization. So this nectar of devotion is not something that the means in Krishna consciousness, the means and the goal are not different. This is Srila Prabhupada's statement. On the material platform, everything is sequential or linear. If I do this, I get that. If I work hard, I get money. If I get money, I buy car. If I buy car, I get married. I have a nice relationship with my girlfriend. If I have a nice relationship with my girlfriend, then I get married. Then I need more money and I work harder and I buy a house, and then my wife wants children, and then I get children, and then I have to send them to university. Everything is linear, but in the spiritual world, it does not working linear. In the spiritual world, as soon as one has devotional feeling, they're tasting the nectar of devotion. And we are encouraged to come to this platform now. We all have love. Srila Prabhupada says, love I have got, love you have got. But that love is now being directed towards material things, towards my senses. Godasa. There's Goswami, master of the senses, one who is in control of these material senses. How he's control? Because he's using them correctly. He's using them in the service of the master of the senses, Rishikesh. Krishna is also called Rishikesh, the master of the senses. So a Goswami is someone who is using his senses in the service of the master for the pleasure, out of love. He only wants to give pleasure to Krishna. What is the real nature understanding of our constitutional position? In the material world, we have a sense of separateness. We have a sense of separation. We do not feel that we're part of the whole. We feel that I'm an individual, and that I'm a separate individual. And we try to satisfy ourselves, but actually we're just like all the cells in the body, maybe trillions of cells in the body. Each is trying to contribute to the welfare of the whole body. Each one is in service, and as the body is served and made healthy and whole, the cell becomes healthy and whole. If it's not like that, it's called cancer. We're like a cancer on the body of Krishna. So, and therefore, and when we have cancer, the body cannot endure, and we don't we don't maintain. We also succumb to death, birth and death, the cycle of birth and death. So this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says that as soon as we take up, okay, so what is love? It's described in this very first sentence in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Love means to take pleasure in God's pleasure, not to look for pleasure separately. Because we're part and parcel, because we're insignificant part of the whole. When the part, just like the leaves on the tree, is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that all millions of leaves on the tree, they try to water themselves, but it doesn't work. And some of the tree leaves on the tree, they want to do welfare activities, humanitarianism, philanthropic activity, like that. They try to water the other leaves. It doesn't, but if one leaf waters the root of the tree, all the leaves, all the fruits, all the flowers, all the branches become served, become satisfied. This is our constant, it's immediate. Similarly, as soon as we adopt, as soon as we embrace, as soon as we accept, and the understanding of our constitutional position in relation with the absolute truth, and implement that and give our love to Krishna, we taste the immediate feedback. We're on the very tree that we're serving. We're part and parcel, and we become filled with bhakti, rasam, the taste, the nectar of devotion. The moment, it's not that by serving with love, we will one day taste nectar. Rather, when we serve with love, the nectar is inseparable from the sense of service. And so the pure devotee is always diving and surfacing in the great ocean of nectar. Rasamrita Sindhu. Sindhu is the ocean of rasa. And it's the eternal ocean. It's the ocean in which we experience our eternal nature. So Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna consciousness is only a matter of understanding. Understanding what is our constitutional position and accepting. It's only a matter of understanding and accepting. So what is
Nityananda Prabhu, can you mute yourselves, please?
That's okay. So what is that? Hare Krishna. So what is the measure of acceptance? If we ask a room of 10 devotees, 20 devotees, 100 devotees, who here in this room accepts Krishna consciousness? Do you accept? And everyone will raise their hand. But what is real acceptance? Is it the embrace of this philosophy? Is it that I think this makes very nice sense? It's aesthetically beautiful philosophy. Real acceptance, the measure of our acceptance. After all, what is being offered? Just like you go to a travel agency. I was looking online. You know what people are doing today? They're going on tours. on cruise ships. And one of the websites says, now this 10 or 15-day cruise on this huge ship, you can save $14,000 and get this cruise for 10 days for only $5,000. Now, let's compare so that's a very short duration. You can't keep it. You can't stay there. You have to pay for everything. What is the pure devotee offering us? He's offering us a one-way trip to the spiritual world. He's offering us that it doesn't cost you 1 cent. He's offering us an all-expense paid trip to the spiritual world, and you can dance or you can wrestle with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you can stay there eternally in a place. What is it like there? There's no birth, there's no old age, there's no disease, there's no death. You can stay there. So Srila Prabhupada is the Supreme Personality of, what is it called? These people, the Supreme Personality of Godhead of travel agency. He's the supreme travel agency. There's no travel edge, and it's free. And so if we really accept, if somebody says, oh, I'm giving you a prize, you've won, what have you won? A trip on one of these cruise ships. You've won a prize, and you go and you pack your bag and you're all excited because you accept, because you believe it's a reality. And you're so pleased. But look what Srila Prabhupada is offering us. If we really accept, so what is the measure of that acceptance? The measure of acceptance is to engage in Krishna conscious activity with joyful enthusiasm. That is real acceptance. That's why Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna consciousness is only a matter of understanding and accepting. So that, how much have we accepted? As Srila Prabhupada says in one lecture, oh, I have this duty. I have to chant my japa. All right, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He says, no, he said, not like that. Not that you have some, no, chant with feelings of love. This is Srila Prabhupada's words. Not like that. Priti purvakam. Priti, this love is the essential quality, and this love and enthusiasm is the measure of our acceptance, and we are all capable. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami in his Nectar of Instruction says, Utsahan. You want to advance in this cultivation, our reawakening, our dormant love for Krishna. We want to invoke our dormant love for Krishna, bring it alive. What is that we have to do? We have to engage in these activities with complete enthusiasm. We have to engage in the first three qualities, enthusiasm. And the next one, what is that? Complete conviction, be completely convinced. It says, no, confidence. That's the word Srila Prabhupada did. Complete enthusiasm and confidence. But if we look, what is that confidence? Is it confidence in ourselves? No, it's confidence, Srila Prabhupada explains in Nectar of Ocean, that this is a reality and that Krishna understands our heart. And he's going to reciprocate with us. He's going to help us. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. To those who are devoted and worship me with love, I'll give them the knowledge, Krishna says. And that's how we become enlightened. As much as we open our heart to Krishna and our spiritual master, the reciprocation is proportionate enlightenment. That's how so it's only a question of understanding and accepting. It's not a question of grimly accepting these activities and waiting for the bolt of lightning to come from the spiritual world that we become realized. It's a question of engaging with enthusiasm. It's a question of having full confidence that Krishna is aware. And Krishna says, proportionately as they surrender to me, I reciprocate. That's right in Bhagavad Gita. So, and there was the third, patience. One is patient. Why is he patient? Because he has realization immediately. Does he have total realization? No. Is constantly expanding. Is constantly expanding. Just like if you go to Las Vegas, people go to Las Vegas to gamble. What is the goal of that gambling? Is to make more money. So a person may have $10 or $100 or $1,000 to bring to the table. He's playing blackjack. He's playing the roulette wheel. He's playing the slot machine. There's so many different forms of gambling in Las Vegas. The goal is to make more money. But unless one has money, he can't play any of these games. In order to make money, you need money. If you go into business, you need startup capital. Just like Ramchandra Prabhu is trying to open a temple. He needs to purchase first the temple. He needs first to make so much propaganda, so much advertisement. He has to do so many things. So in order to, in the same way, in Krishna consciousness, the goal is love. We have to bring love to the table in order for it to increase. It will increase. It will increase. It's the only thing that will make it increase. Because it's bhakti yoga. It's not jnana yoga. It's not karma yoga. It's not sankhya yoga. It's bhakti yoga. Yoga means to connect with God, to connect with Krishna. Bhakti means that the medium through which we is not by our pious activity, karma, it's not by our meditation, understanding that I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm spirit. That goes on for bahunam janmanam ante, for millions of births, like meditating. It's not those kinds of yoga. It's a question of understanding. It's the yoga of understanding and accepting. This means confidence that this process is real. How do we acquire this confidence? By association with the pure devotee. Therefore, we have to hear every day. Read Srila Prabhupada's books, hear Srila Prabhupada's lectures, hear Srila Prabhupada singing. He's singing, he's chanting with feelings of devotion. You know what it says in our Srimad Bhagavatam, that the pure devotee, he's in touch with Krishna. He has a television within his heart, Srila Prabhupada says. It's not only that he's acting, it's just like these video games. The video games, they're interactive. You enter into it. You don't just watch. You become part of it. In the same way, a pure devotee, he's entering into the pastimes of Krishna. He's living like that while he's walking on this planet. So, the idea is that there's first was utsahan, enthusiasm, confidence that this is reality, means no doubt. Ashamsha, that word doubt, that free from doubt. If we have to engage free from doubt. And Srila Prabhupada says in one lecture I have copied, it's on my computer, free from doubt, that we have the right to kick out. We have the power and the right at every moment to kick out this doubt and simply accept that this is the reality and engage with that. That is confidence that Krishna is real, that I'm pure spirit soul, I'm Krishna's eternal servant, and Krishna wants only, what does Krishna want? Does he wants our love. They were only created for that purpose. Krishna doesn't need anything that we have. He owns everything. He owns us. He doesn't need, but he's giving us a chance through these activities to do what? He's giving us a chance to express our love. The activities of devotional service that we engage in, they're like a container in which we deliver our love. Just like people are buying pizza and ordering from the store, and it's coming in a car, someone is coming and delivering. But there has to, if they give you an empty box, the box is there, the form is there, the shape is there, everything is there. But if there's no pizza in the box, there's no taste. And if he's charging you something, you don't want to pay. And we have all our devotional activities. What has to be in the box, in the container of these activities, has to be our love. Otherwise, this is called, by Srila Prabhupada, niyamagraha. It means that, what is niyam? There are different meanings from the word. One meaning is we're following all the rules, and Srila Prabhupada calls it the formula. He says you have the whole formula, but what is the formula? What is the purpose of the formula? That through these activities, through the container of these activities, through the engagement activities, we're expressing our feelings of love. And if there's no feelings of love being expressed, but we're keeping the whole formula, Srila Prabhupada, that is called niyam agraha, missing the whole point. But why is not there? Because we're not yet engaging. We have to engage with joyful enthusiasm. Joyful enthusiasm means I accept what's being told to me. And therefore, Raja Vidya, this knowledge, is the king of it because it's immediate. You not something you have to do for so many bahunam janman, for so many thousands of births, cultivating knowledge. This is the highest knowledge. It's the conclusion. Bahunam janmanam, I'd say. Raja Vidya, it's the king of knowledge. It's the purest. Nothing can be compared to it because it's completely on the spiritual platform, and it's joyful. Shushukam kartam avyayam. Avyayam, eternal. Shushukam, kartam, it's engagement. Shushukam, joyful engagement. It's joyful engaged as much as we accept that it's a reality. So therefore, utsahan, enthusiasm. Why sometimes the question is raised, why these people are coming and they're not staying? Because they have not accepted. Because as much as we accept, we experience the nectar of devotion. As much as we accept and engage with joyful enthusiasm and without doubt, with confidence that Krishna is aware of us and eager to accept our love, we immediately feel the nectar of devotion. So I said, what's the third quality? Patience. Well, how this person can be patient? Why people are losing their patience and sometimes going away? They're losing their patience because they haven't accepted yet. As soon as one accepts with joyful enthusiasm, they taste the nectar. A person who's tasting the nectar, even at our stage, even in our neophyte stage, tasting the nectar is never going to go away. He wants more. He wants more because it's superior to it. You take some ice cream, you take some chocolate bar, you take some pizza, you take this, you take that, you take some sex, you take some money, you take all the things, but they do not satisfy. Have you ever heard of a millionaire who was stopping to make more money? Are the corporate executives who are making 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, $1 billion a year, are they stopping? No. So Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, this lust for satisfying ourselves in separation for Krishna, it burns like a fire. And the more people feed it, the bigger the flames get. And they're never satisfied, and they're frustrated, and then they become angry. And these people who lead these countries, then they go into politics with their desire for power. Not enough that they're a millionaire or a billionaire. Now let me control everybody so I can make them all stand in line and pay me money. And it's not enough that they're paying me all their taxes, but now I want to be stronger. I have to engage imperialism. We have to conquer other nations and exploit them and everybody. And still they're not satisfied. So they make wars. So Srila Prabhupada, Krishna says that it burns like fire, is never satisfied, and it's the all-devouring sinful enemy of the whole world. It brings the whole world to its present state, the way it is today. It's lust. It's this endless desire for more, because why more? We have a desire for more, but we have no, then the more we have desire, the more the devotee has desire, the more he becomes detached from material desire. Why? Because he's satisfied within his heart. It's joyful. Shushukam kartam avyayam. It frees him from all material desire. They want more because their material desire is increasing the more they feed it. And to the extent that they want to have slaves, they want to have factories, they want people to work without giving them enough to feed their family. People are not interested in communism. The capitalist wants to defeat the communist. Communism is so bad. Who has created communism? It is these business people who exploit. These business who don't give people enough. They have. Do you know what is the name of the man? who runs Amazon.com, the man who runs Amazon.com, Jeff Bezos or something like that. Do you know that he spent millions of dollars to have a spaceship built for himself? He did this. It's online. And and that the people who work for Amazon are on strike because they can't have enough money by working for Jeff Bezos to feed their family. Here, the man wants name and fame to put a rocket in space to waste millions and millions of dollars. But so this is material. This is material desire. So the idea is that what is the secret of Krishna consciousness? The secret of Krishna consciousness is that Sushukam Kartam Avyayam. It's everlasting and joyfully performed. It's joyfully performed because as soon as we engage with a feeling of devotion, we taste the nectar of devotion. The spiritual bliss is a symptom or attribute of a devotional heart. A devotional heart feels the nectar of devotion. Shushukam is very sweet, and that one will feel immediately. You can't do it the first day. It's not a question of accepting like a formula that if I do have a checklist and I do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that one day the blessing will come. No, it's immediate. It's proportionate to our understanding and accepting. And real accepting means to embrace it with joyful enthusiasm, with confidence that Krishna is aware of my desire to be a servant, a loving servant, and with patience. And the patience is there because I'm already tasting and I have, that is my realization. The realization is immediate. It may not be the highest realization, but proportionate to our capacity. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada says, you already have love for nation, for society, for friendship, for family, for dog, for cat. Take this same love and transfer the account. Transfer it to the real object of our love. That is, so what does this love mean? Well, love means to take pleasure in God's pleasure. That we are the pleasure of the pure devotee. To take pleasure in it, it means trying to please them. You're chanting Hare Krishna. I'm sitting in front of a picture or a murti form of Srila Prabhupada, and he says, I'm present in my picture. And do you understand and accept? He says, if you take this picture and throw it here and there, if you accept that this picture is not different from, you sit in front, I sit in front, and I chant, what? Hare Krishna. Why? Because he tastes the nectar of the name. He tastes the nectar of the name. We can give it to him. Then we can give him that sound vibration. When we chant Hare Krishna, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, oh, you who taste the nectar of the name, my spiritual master, my guru, you taste the nectar. When will I hold your feet until the end of time? Why is that? Why does a devotee want to please his spiritual master and hold his feet until the end of time? Because that pure devotee, he tastes the nectar of the name. And when he tastes the nectar of the name, he shares. And if we give him the holy name, he shares his joyful experience of Krishna consciousness with us. And that's how we become devotees. When we chant Hare Krishna, you know, I said teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter 18, the process is that the spiritual master chants the mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and the sound vibration enters the ear of the disciple. And if the disciple chants with equal feeling, this becomes the worship of the holy name. This is how we chant Hare Krishna. What do we say every day? Under the guidance of the pure devotee. This is under his guidance. Under the direction of the pure devotee. Therefore, it is not a user's manual of instruction where we have no relationship with the man who wrote the manual. It's an apprenticeship program. These are Srila Prabhupada's words. Not niyamagraha, apprenticeship program. When you work as an apprentice, you try to please the person who's your instructor. Not by handing in a checklist that but personally you're looking over your shoulder like this, Srila Prabhupada. Is this how you work for a bricklayer? He's teaching you, apprentice, how you lay these bricks. He said, he shows you. He shows you, and you're looking over your shoulder like this, my guru, my bricklaying guru. Is this the? And he nods, yes, like that. And if he's pleased, then then the next step he shows you the more. Therefore, it says in Bhagavad, you just approach such a spiritual master. You approach this spiritual master who has this knowledge of Krishna, who has full realization of Krishna. And tadvidi pranipatena, you take your position at his feet. Pranipatena. Paraprashnena sevaya, you render sir. Upalekshanti te jnanam, jnaninas. What is his qualification? Tattva darshan. He has darshan of the tattva, the mahatattva, the supreme tattva. He has Krishna, the darshan of Krishna. That's why you accept him as your spiritual master. That's why we accept, not somebody who's appointed by some nonsense board of GBC, ABC, DEF. You can't make someone a pure devotee by appointing him as a pure devotee. Pure devotee comes from the spiritual world. These people are so nonsense. Only 50 years have passed and they're completely deviated. So you approach a self-realized soul, you inquire from him submissively, and you render. What is the inquiry? The inquiry is what do you ask him? How do I develop my love for Krishna? This is real. Srila Prabhupada says in the purport to 434 Bhagavad Gita, absurd inquiries are condemned. What are you asking so many questions? What is the question? I'm in this material world. I'm identifying with this body as me. I'm so much frustrated. I'm so much confused. I'm so much unhappy. How do I get out of this position? By loving Krishna. How do I get this love? So this is, how do I develop my love for Krishna? That is inquiry. Inquiry, what is submission? Submission is, he gives you the mantra into your ear, you hear, and you begin to chant with equal respect. This becomes the worship of the holy. That's service, the inquiry service. Submission. Submission means that I open my heart so I can feel his presence. And service means I engage in devotional service under his guidance. The guidance that I get when I feel his. Therefore, it says in 1.5.25 of Srimad Bhagavatam that infection There's Srila Prabhupada's words, and I quote, infection is as much devotional. Pure devotion is as much infectious, in a good sense, like an infectious disease. We associate with someone who has COVID, we get COVID. We associate with someone who has love of Krishna in his heart. We get love of Krishna in our heart. How? We have to want it. We have association is like a crystal stone. Hiranyakashipu says to Prahlad Maharaj. It reflects. The heart reflects whatever is placed in for it. This is the infection process. The only question is, it's like a mirror, but if the mirror is dusty, it won't reflect. The mirror, it has to be clean. We have to make that our real desire. We have to be our real desire. It has to be our real desire. And we have to keep the principles. We have to keep the regulative principles 100%. We have to rise early. We have to take shower. We have to have morning program. We have to have morning class. We have to only eat prasadam. That will make the mirror clean. And we have to have full respect for the pure devotee Mahabhagavata, who's Tattva Darshanaha. Same verse again, 434. He said, Krishna doesn't say you find somebody, he doesn't say, Tadvidi pranipatena paraprashnena sevaya upadekshanti tegyanam. Now you approach someone, the guru who is appointed by the GBC. Doesn't say, he says Tattva Darshanaha. You approach that guru who has the darshan of the absolute truth. Not someone who can repeat the philosophy, but someone who can share the realization because he has the realization, because the Tattva Darshana, our heart can reflect his heart. Then we have devotion. That we become infected with his devotion. Then we have devotion. This is the process of engaging in Krishna consciousness under the guidance of a pure devotee who has the darshan of the absolute truth. Not that we go okay, he's given me this instruction, now let me do this, let me do. No, we're working, it's an apprenticeship program. That means that each one of us who aspires to have the taste of Krishna consciousness, that we have to work in Krishna consciousness. And working in Krishna consciousness means working under the guidance, who is full in Krishna consciousness, and tasting his devotion Srila Prabhupada says, infection of the qualities of the pure devotees means to imbibe the taste of devotion in the association of someone who has devotion. Krishna consciousness is so simple. It's only a matter of understanding and accepting. And we have this. And it's transcendental. There's no question of, those devotees, these senior devotees, they have this expression, MTM, that they met the man. They had these memories. They have Srila Prabhupada. Nonsense. Nobody even knows where these people are today and what they're doing. Maybe some few. No, Srila Prabhupada memory means that we're remembering him now. And we're having our living relationship with him now, because it's a transcendental relationship, that material, time, and space are irrelevant. He's the external manifestation of Krishna in our very hearts. And he will reciprocate with us and he will share his love with us as we approach him with a sincerity in our hearts, with a desire to please. That's all that love means. All that the love doesn't mean intoxication or infatuation, that I want to jump on this lady. Love means, as expressed in this very verse, they are so satisfied, they have no desire for anything, material benefit, or to have this philosophical. They have their minds so much engaged in my service that they're not even wanting to live in my abode with me. They're so satisfied by this nectar of devotion. It's so pleasing to the heart. They say, you can send me to hell. You can put me in heaven. You can leave me in the material world. You can take me. All I want is to have this feeling of connection with, loving connection with you, because it's so sweet. And what are the symptoms that immediate? Vairagya. What is that? Detachment. Again, and vairagya, knowledge and detachment are the byproducts of a love in the heart. Then what is that knowledge? That I'm not this body. And what is that detachment? That I have no desire for material pleasure. Why? Because of tasting the nectar of devotion. It's not a question of artificially becoming detached or renounced. It's a question of having a higher taste. And that is available to all of us through this practice of Krishna consciousness, which is only a question of understanding and accepting. This is available to all of us, and blind following is condemned. We should not follow blindly. Easy come, easy go. We should test this Krishna consciousness and have the experience as, oh, this is so nice. I want more. I must have more. So, Hare Krishna. Comments or questions are more than welcome.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, please, devotees, feel completely free, comfortable, relaxed to ask any question, make any comment. So just unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Ishan, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for such a wonderful class. I especially like the way that you give metaphorical meanings to the most deepest stuff that Srila Prabhupada has given us. Just one question that I have. So I like the point that you mentioned where that nobody can elect a pure devotee. Oftentimes when we read Srila Prabhupada's books and we listen to Srila Prabhupada's lectures, Srila Prabhupada does mention that it is possible for us to become pure devotees by practicing the process and following his instructions. I just want to find, my question is, can a devotee become an Uttamarikari? Not per se a Nitya Siddha, but can they become a pure devotee in a sense by following Srila Prabhupada's instructions?
My understanding is that this, well, if we look at Bhagavad Gita preface, Srila Prabhupada's last sentence. I'm going to get my Bhagavad Gita, okay?
Okay.
Here we are. Srila Prabhupada addresses this point. You know how many Bhagavad Gitas Krishna consciousness has distributed all over the world, maybe by now millions, okay?
Okay.
Our Krishna consciousness movement is teaching the whole world this central point. And because we are not polluting the theme of Bhagavad Gita as it is, anyone seriously interested in deriving benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita must take help from this Krishna consciousness movement for practical understanding of Bhagavad Gita under the direct guidance of the Lord. We hope therefore that people will derive the greatest benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita as it is, as we have presented it here. And if even one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider our attempt a success. If even one, Srila Prabhupada used to say repeatedly, I don't want so many stars. I just want one moon. Because when the moon comes up, it illuminates the whole ground, the whole landscape becomes, you can see at night. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that if one person becomes a pure devotee, he consider. So this gives us some indication of what is Srila Prabhupada's expectation. That he's thinking, if I can make one, it doesn't mean we can't. It means that it's very rare that anyone is intelligent enough to take it. It doesn't mean we can't. It means we don't have, if we have real faith, then we'll be joyfully enthusiastic. So the chapter 1 in Nectar of Devotion, that we're going to read that, is that what is the fourth characteristic of pure devotional service is rarely achieved. Let's read that section. It's section number 4. It's all auspicious. I'm turning pages. The rareness. In the preliminary phase of spiritual life, there are different kinds of austerities and penances, similar processes for attaining self-realization. However, if an executor of these processes is without material desire, he still cannot achieve devotional service. And aspiring by oneself alone to achieve devotional service is also not very hopeful. Krishna does not agree to award devotional service to merely anyone. Krishna can easily offer a person material happiness or even liberation, but he does not agree very easily to award a person engagement in his devotional service. Devotional service can in fact be attained only through the mercy of a pure devotee. Only he shares his devotion with us. So he says, if you go to 434 in Bhagavad Gita, it's a question, in other words, how close and how intimate do we become with Srila Prabhupada? Each of us. not following a checklist. I have one quote that I have the other day. Srila Prabhupada sometimes uses unusual words. He said that one has to have a thiver. He said, how is it that one can that a student can be controlled by his spiritual master? What he says, nobody wants to be controlled by anybody. He says, but if one has love for the spiritual master, he becomes automatically controlled. And then he says, ordinary relationship, this is quote, ordinary relationship will not do. One has to have a very thick relationship with the spiritual master. Then he can be controlled. So we have to, in every phase of our Krishna consciousness, has to be in the association under the guidance of that thick relationship. We have to feel his presence and feel his love and give and the more we open our heart to him, the more he opens his heart to us. He has already opened his heart to us because he's come from the spiritual world simply to share Krishna consciousness with us. He's completely self-satisfied, but his only dissatisfaction, like Prahlad Maharaj says, is that he sees us, the suffering condition of the living entities, and he wants to help. He's already loving us more than we can ever imagine. If you look at a picture of Srila Prabhupada's beautiful, beautiful, joyful smile, understand that that he's feeling this love for us. When you see Srila Prabhupada looking straight at you with that joyful smile in his pictures, I have such a picture on my altar. Understand that he's looking at you with joyful love in his heart, and he wants to share his love of Krishna with you. This is and begin to please him, try to please him and chant for his pleasure. How do you chant? By opening our heart to him and feeling his love. If one begins to chant with equal feeling, teachings of Lord Chaitanya, that becomes the worship of the holy name. We're chanting under his guidance. Everything in Krishna consciousness is under his guidance. Then we can become that one. If one, and he says, very rarely achieved, rareness, number 4, first chapter in Nectar Devotion, pure devotional service is very rare. And what is this? How, under this heading, Srila says, devotional service, in fact, can be attained only through the mercy of the pure devotee. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 19, verse 151, it is said, by the mercy of the spiritual master, then it says, not any spiritual master, by the mercy of the spiritual master, who is a pure devotee, and by the mercy of Krishna, one can achieve this platform of devotional service. And the last line is a quote, there is no other way. There is no other way to become a devotee except to become infected with his devotional qualities. So it's a paradox, because on the one hand, it's the highest knowledge, Raja Vidya, Raja Goyam, the most confidential knowledge, the secret of all secrets. Raja Vidya, Pavitram is the purest knowledge. Idam uttamam, it's the highest knowledge. Pratyaksha, it gives you direct perception of yourself as pure spirit soul. Bhagamam, Shushu, it's joyful. Shushukam kartam. It's the most simple and sublime, but it's very rarely achieved. It's the simplest, but it's the rarest to achieve. Why? What Srila Prabhupada says in Nectar of Devotion chapter, you know what he says? It's like a husband and wife having sex. He says, chapter 12, he says, last page in chapter 12, he says it's like husband and wife procreating, having conjugation. He says, what is the quality? The husband has to be potent. He has to have the sperm, the seed that will make, and the wife has to be completely in perfect health, pure, perfect health. Then he says, then there can be conception in the womb. So that's how intimate the relationship. And he says similarly, if we, but we know that Srila Prabhupada is completely potent. He's Krishna's pure devotee. What is the potency? The potency is that he has, all he has in his heart is love for Krishna. That is his potency. So then we have to, he wants to put his seed of devotion in our heart. So how that we have to be clean and not wanting other things. It's only a question of our desire. So, but that intimacy has to be there. We have to agree. We have to recognize, number one, what is Srila Prabhupada's position, that he's a pure devotee. Number two, that there's no other way. As we just said, there is no other way. I'm reading from that. One has to have the mercy of a spiritual master. There is no other way. He has to infect us with his qualities of devotion. This is understanding Krishna conscious philosophy. It's not a sentiment, it's a philosophy based on the revealed scriptures, the absolute truth. It is being told to us in so many ways, in so many quotes, that it's just like a crystal. Heart has to be like a mirror, like a crystal stone, and reflect his qualities. If our heart is open to him, not to others, to him, and then our heart will reflect his qualities. If we associate with someone who's infected with the qualities of pure devotion, we become infected. Infection means to get the taste of devotion from him. It's everywhere, everywhere. What do we sing every morning? Prema bhakti ahoite avidya vinashayate. Prema bhakti ahoite avidya vinashayate. From him, this love of Krishna, prema, it emanates just like the sunshine emanates like from the sun. And if we, Srila Prabhupada says, don't turn your back to the sun, face the sun. If we can receive that emanation, avidya vinashayate, by him, our ignorance is destroyed. Because we imbibe the taste, because we become infected. Only there is no other way. This is the process of Krishna consciousness that we have to understand, and therefore pranipatena. That's why we bow down at his lotus feet, begging that let me have this relationship with you. It's very rarely done. It's really probably if one person does that, he'll consider the whole movement a success. He's looking for one person who will surrender. So on the one hand, that's all that's required, not a big brain, not bahunam janmanama, not thousands of births of philosophy, not the austerity standing up to our neck in the water melting from the glacier, not sitting in the middle of burning fires, not depriving ourselves, fasting eternally and no food, no water, not doing anything, just opening our heart to him and practicing Krishna consciousness under his guidance. So on the one hand, it's the easiest thing to do. It's easier than all these difficult yoga processes that you do for thousands of births. You can do it in a second. Srila Prabhupada says one can do Krishna consciousness in 1 second. It's simple for the simple, not as simple, not for the big brain, not for the Nobel Prize laureate. Simple for the simple, one can do it in a second. It's only a matter of understanding and accepting. So on the one hand, it's so easy. All we have to do is become impregnated. Chapter 12, Nectar of Devotion. Just like husband and wife, he's potent, and we have to be receptive. So anyone can do this, but it's very rarely done. And not rarely done because it's hard, rarely done because it's our choice at every moment. We've been in this, we have this self-centered orientation for millions of births, fruitive, trying to enjoy this and that, trying to be in control, trying to be the enjoyer, trying to be the owner. It's so deep in us, and that's our disease. So he's asking, please put this aside, Srila Prabhupada says, and accept me as your spiritual master. I'm here. I've come from the spiritual world. And he doesn't say, I'm a pure devotee. He doesn't say that I have this ecstatic love for Krishna. He doesn't, but he explains that unless one is a pure devotee, unless one is personally empowered by Krishna, he could never have done what Srila Prabhupada has done to spread Krishna. That it's predicted that Lord Chaitanya, that Krishna himself would come from the spiritual world, and this Krishna consciousness would go to every town and village. The whole planet will be singing. It's just a matter of time. It's just beginning. But how did it happen? That Lord Chaitanya's most intimate pure devotee, he uses him. So who is that pure devotee? That's Srila Prabhupada. So we have to understand who Srila Prabhupada is. That Krishna himself has chosen him to be the channel through which this Krishna conscious, and he's sharing love of Krishna. He's sharing his Tattva Darshan with us. Tattva Darshana. Therefore, pranipatena. Bow down to him, take shelter of his lotus feet, because he has the darshan of Krishna. And there's no, as said here, there's no other way. This is the process. We have to understand this process. It's not a mechanical process. That if I do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that one day there will come. No. He said, Srila Prabhupada, if one in the comment on no, our hearts have to reflect his quality. That means we need to have a very thick relationship with Srila Prabhupada. But is anything in the way? Just myself, just my own heart. So anyone can become a pure devotee, but the truth is that it's very rare. And the truth is that if one person does, Srila Prabhupada will consider it a success. But it's our choice. It can take 100 births, or it can take one birth. It can take 1 second, Srila Prabhupada said. It's just a question of how understanding and accepting. So that's my responsibility. That's your responsibility. How much you want it? He said, that's how you purchase. How can you purchase this Krishna consciousness? You will have to want it. If you don't have enough, if you don't have enough desire to get out of this material world or out of this material consciousness, you can have another million births to convince you that. I used to work in a business, and on the bulletin board, somebody put, because everyone was working so hard and waiting for Friday, thank God it's Friday, they would say TGIF, because it's so difficult. He said, someone put on the bulletin board, are we having fun yet? So Krishna is saying like that. I put you in this material world. You're having fun yet? Is it working for you? You're enjoying yourself very much? So when you decide that you've had enough and you're not, then, and you really want the solution, you'll take it. And that's our personal choice at every moment. So we will forget, then we come back. The more we come back, the more we taste. The more we taste, the more we want, because there's nothing like it. It's everlasting and joyful. It's always there waiting for us. That's amazing that anyone can be a devotee. Amazing. We're no different from all the demons. It's just that we're starting to relent and say, well, I've tried, Are we having fun yet? No, it's not fun. It's terrible. It's terrible. We're desperate. And people are committing suicide. Look at the figures on the web. How many people are committing suicide, killing themselves because their lives are so painful, so frustrated, so miserable. And those who are not committing suicide, they're dying of how many diseases? COVID and cancer and diabetes and dropsy and Alzheimer's disease. Yeah, are we having fun yet? So we have to become convinced that. But they want material life so much that they're even praying to Krishna, please, to God, please let me be successful in business. Please let me have a nice wife. Please let me have nice children. Please let me have lots of money. Please let me be strong and beautiful. Please let me be successful in politics. Please this, please that. Please make me a happy materialist. That's what people are praying to God for all over the planet. Please make me a happy materialist, because they're thinking that if we can only, let's get in this peace march, let's get in this union march, let's get in this march and that march, let's have a political revolution, let's make a guillotine, let's chop off the heads of all the exploiters, let's do this, then we'll be happy. They're thinking they can be materially happy, and we're being told that you can't. So an intelligent person will accept that we cannot have fun here. There's no fun here. We're not having fun. We're suffering like anything. And if we want, then we have to approach the pure devotee, open our hearts, receive, become infected with his feeling of devotion. Let our hearts become like the crystal stone. Let us learn from him and work in Krishna consciousness. as an apprentice. He's not teaching us how to lay bricks. He's not teaching us how to do plumbing. He's not teaching us how to be an electrician. What is Srila Prabhupada teaching us? Prema bhakti yaha hoite avidya vinash. That if we can imbibe from him the taste of his devotion to Krishna, then all of our material ignorance will be dispelled. From him, Krishna Prem emanates. By him, our ignorance is destroyed. There's no other way to destroy our ignorance except to become infected with the love of the pure devotee, which means to always be engaging in Krishna consciousness under his guidance, which means to become infected with his qualities, which means to have our hearts like a mirror that's always reflecting his qualities. And as we read, there is no other way, and that is written in the under rareness of pure devotional service. So it's simultaneously the most easy thing to do, and the only thing in the way is us. The only thing in the way is the perversion of our hearts, the stubbornness of our hearts, not to open our heart to Krishna's pure devotee, who has come here looking for, what did we read? If one person accepts this really and becomes a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada says he'll consider, he knows what we are. He doesn't condemn us, he tries to encourage us, but he knows that if one person becomes a pure devotee, it'll be a great thing. So it's the simplest thing, simple for the simple. One can do it in a second. It's only a matter of understanding and accepting. And if one person does it, it'll be great. So that should be you or me. It should be all of us. But we should become convinced philosophically that this is the process of becoming a real devotee. It's to work under the guidance of a pure devotee, like his apprentice. Not not to lay bricks, not apprentice to do electric, not apprentice to do plumbing, apprentice to how to love. He's teaching us how to love. That's the working under the guidance of Krishna's pure devotee. We have to be willing to approach him. And Srila Prabhupada says in 434, when he sees that we're very submissive, that's the meaning of submissiveness. Not that like a policeman comes and arrests somebody and put up your hands and put on the handcuffs on you and take you to jail. That's not the submission that he's asking for. It's the opening of the heart is submission. It's the so he says when he sees that we're always submissive, then he blesses us with more knowledge. The reciprocation of inquiry and knowledge becomes perfect. 434 Bhagavad Gita. When he sees that we're submissive and always ready to engage in service under his guidance, then he reveals himself to us. He's just waiting for us. He's not hiding from us. He's waiting for us. Otherwise, we're members. Just like there are different devotional organizations in this world, people are members. You can wear a pin that you're a member. You can wear a uniform that you're a member. You can wear tilak and neck beads and be a member. Srila Prabhupada said, wearing tilak and neck beads. So that I'm trying to answer like that. Hare Krishna.
Nityananda Prabhu, please go ahead if you want to continue. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, Prabhu. That's
We have this tremendous
the answer.
responsibility.
I've also seen that
Totally up to us.
from the 12th chapter here of Nectar of Devotion that you mentioned. It's very nice. I just read this last paragraph where it says that similarly, if we associate with flower-like devotees of the Lord, and if our hearts are crystal clear, then certainly the same action will be there. So, Haribol, thank you so much. So, I understand that if we're always in contact with Srila Prabhupada, just like a rusty iron rod, first we have to shave that iron rod, that rust out by doing our sadhana and our devotional service.
So,
And then be in contact with this fire, which Srila Prabhupada is pure.
so
So like
this
this,
between you and me. Maybe I feel I can't do it. Maybe I feel that my heart is attracted to so many other things. Maybe I'm so fruitive in my activity that I'm so concerned about success and failure, and I'm so many things. Maybe I see how impure I am in that way. But if I only understand this philosophy, that's a tremendous step in it. How many people understand like what we're talking about? If we only understand that this is the only way, we were just read it, there's no other way, then the desire to have an intimate, that is Srila Prabhupada said, an intimate relationship with Krishna's pure devotee, that desire grow in our heart. Krishna will help us and give us the intelligence how to begin to have an intimate relationship. You know what it says in the Krishna book? It says, Srila Prabhupada describes in the 10th canto purports that he's describing diksha, initiation. Initiate means to begin our relationship. He says diksha means to the cultivation of a heart-to-heart, quote, heart-to-heart relationship. He said, but that heart-to-heart relationship has to be with someone who has Krishna in his heart. And then he can transfer Krishna into our heart. That's what meaning of diksha. That's the beginning of that relationship with someone who has Krishna in their heart. So, and opening the heart to the extent that he can impregnate our heart by putting that seed there. And we cultivate that seed under his guidance by feeling what he's sharing with us. And it grows, and it grows, and it grows. So even if I feel myself incapable, even if I can do it for 5 minutes a day while chanting japa, that will grow, because as soon as we do it, we'll feel the nectar of devotion. The nectar that we're looking for is inherent in the devotion of the heart. As soon as the heart is feeling love for our spiritual master, we'll feel a certain taste of nectar, a spiritual taste of that, oh, this is so nice. And it'll make us want more. So the first step is, let's understand our philosophy, that it's not a mechanical process, but it's based on an intimate, thick relationship, heart to heart, with a pure devotee who has Krishna in his heart. And then we can reflect, or his quality, we can become infected with his quality, we can have a heart-to-heart relationship, or what is the one we read in the 12th chapter? It's like impregnation of a husband with his wife. And if the husband is potent, and we know Srila Prabhupada is potent, and if our hearts are empty of other things, then we're pure, then there can be conception. So to begin to understand the real philosophy of how one becomes a devotee is a huge step, just thinking about this understanding from day to day, it's going to affect you so deeply, you're going to want it. And then you're going to ask for it, and you're going to pray for it. And as you do, you'll receive it proportionately. You'll receive it. They're not hiding from us. They're waiting for us. We have to become convinced that the only block is me. We have to become convinced that it's not, one can be Krishna conscious in a second. It's simple for the simple. So that's what I'm trying to push, because you've been misled. You've been told that if you follow the formula, Srila Prabhupada uses that word, that one day the bolt of lightning will come from the spiritual sky and you'll have realization. Doesn't work that way. That's not our philosophy. That is not our philosophy. That is a misunderstanding. That is a materialistic, mechanical conception of how Krishna consciousness works. It doesn't come that way. It comes in the second that we open our heart. To that degree, we experience the nectar of it, and we want more. Therefore, I'm going to say that, and let people say whatever they want. This is our philosophy. Can I do it? No, I'm a rascal. Do I want it? Yes. Do I try every day? Yes. Is it growing? Yes. Do I like it? Yes. And so my aspiration becomes that if in this lifetime I can come to live in his transcendental association, that's all I want. That's all I want, because that immediately frees me from all confusion, frees me from, I feel I'm home now. Just let me have this. Let me have you. Therefore, Srila Bhaktivinoda, when you have this love of Krishna, you have tasting the nectar of devotion, you are tasting the sweetness of the holy name. When will I hold your lotus feet until the end of time? When, oh, when will that day be mine? That's enough. If we can only have that, we'll feel so uplifted and joyful and Hari. So let's understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. And this is, in where Srila Prabhupada says 525, 525 nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam, in that purport where Srila Prabhupada talks about becoming infected with the qualities of the pure devotee. He doesn't say what we're talking about is an advanced position. He says this is right there, 520, the neophyte devotee, Srila Prabhupada writes, becomes infected. He imbibes the taste of devotion in association of the pure devotee. The neophyte devotee, and when he does, his material desires evaporate. That's anartha nivritti. That's how we come to that platform, as a neophyte or in initiation. Diksha, the beginning of a heart-to-heart relationship. So no matter what book we go for, it's the same philosophy. So what I want to do, I'm saying that everybody after hearing this class will turn off their computer and become and go to Krishna Loka through the big elevator or whatever. But to understand the philosophy that this is what's in front of me, this is the challenge, this is what I have to do. And each of us will proceed according to his desire. That is, are you having fun yet being in this material world? It's very nice. Would you like to be here another couple of births, another million births? Or you've had, or haven't we learned yet? So then, it's so important that we understand the philosophy and how Krishna consciousness is cultivated under the guidance of a pure devotee in the association. And one should practice Krishna consciousness under his guidance, in his association, not under his guidance following a checklist, but under his guidance in his association. And they say, oh, he lives forever by his divine instruction. And the follower lives with him. So you say, oh, I'm following his instruction, I'm with him. But everything we're talking about is also his instruction. This is also his instruction. Why they're separating? Why are they separating? That only his instruction means to get up early and take a shower and chant 16 rounds and attend class and distribute a book and take prasadam. Why are they limiting his? Why not take all of his instruction? The instructions we're talking about. They become upset. They don't like to hear this. That's all right. What can we do? Let them do what they want. There's no other way. It said, and that is it in chapter 1. There is no other way. We have to become infected. Then we can spread the disease.
The cure, yeah.
They consider the Krishna conscious people as crazy. But Srila Prabhupada says, who's really crazy? The non-devotee or the devotee? He says that they think they want to save us. They actually had people who were coming when I was in ISKCON in the 60s, in the 70s, who were trying to kidnap devotees and take them somewhere and try to make them eat hamburgers and bring in a prostitute. And they were going to fix us and take what do they call us? I forget what they call those people, but they they were trying
deprogrammers.
Deprogram that we've been programmed. Yes. They say brainwashing. Srila Prabhupada says, yes, I'm here to wash your brain. Yes, we're having brainwashing. Yeah, we're being deprogrammed. We're being deprogrammed from materialism to spiritualism. They want to deprogram us from Krishna consciousness to join them. They say, you can't quit now. You've been here with us all these years. You should stay another million births. Be with us. Otherwise, you're not our friend. We're going to capture you and lock you up in a room with this nice prostitute and send in hamburgers for you and make you happy. Hare Krishna.
If Nityananda Prabhu is finished, so I'm asking you, Prabhu, is that okay? And then
Yes.
Vidura waiting to ask a question. Vidura Prabhu, please do go ahead.
Jai Haribol Prabhu. Very nice.
Hare
Very
Krishna.
nice. Thank you very much. You know, on a similar point of it being instant in certain ways, in a lecture in Melbourne, as a response to a question from the audience, who said, well, does it take hundreds of lifetimes, a lifetime, 10 lifetimes, whatever? Prabhupada said, he almost ate the microphone when he answered. Prabhupada said, in a second. In a second. And that was all he said. He just said, Bas. That was it, in a second. But my question was relationship to a verse you quoted a few times, 10:10. Tesham Satadayuktanam Bhajatam Pridipurvakam. What does that mean, actually? It always confuses me, that verse. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, if you're already constantly devoted to serving Krishna with love, why would you need an understanding by which you can come to him?
Because it's progressive. It's not that when we open our heart to Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, that we have the finished product, but we get a seed which we cultivate into a form, like you cultivate, like a man impregnates his wife, and it's a tiny, tiny seed. And then it grows, it takes on form, and it develops arms and legs, and when it's ready, it comes out. So in the same way, but it exists immediately, but it grows simultaneously. Similarly, as soon as we have this in a second devotion, we feel the nectar of it, because the sweetness of having the devotional, having a devotional feeling, a loving feeling, we feel that in our heart. But that doesn't mean we have the finished product. It means that the more we do it, the more it expands until we become mad after it. Srila Prabhupada said, he showed me his arm and raised his sleeve, and he said, have you seen this? And he pretended he's injecting heroin. He said, Krishna consciousness, like that, we become addicted to it. And Srila Prabhupada had a mischievous smile on his face. So to those who are worshiping with this love, more knowledge is given. As more knowledge is given, and more realization of the beauty of Krishna consciousness, of the sweetness of Krishna consciousness, of the beauty of Krishna, of the beauty of our spiritual master. He's Srila, most beautified Srila Prabhupada. We can be him for how beautiful he is, how beautiful his heart is. So only by loving him can we have these kind of reciprocation in the form of little realization. But that makes us want to love him more. And as we love him more, he reveals more, shares more of Krishna consciousness with us. And as he shares more, we're qualified and more inspired. Our desire for it grows bigger and bigger, and we become mad after it. So it's a progressive, constantly expanding process. So in other words, like we were saying, in business, the goal is to make money, but you have to have startup capital to make more capital. Or in gambling, you go to the casino, you want to make money, but you have to bring money to the table. In Krishna consciousness, it's to have love of Krishna, but what do you get? Love with love. You make money by having money. If you have no money, you can't play the game. If you have no love, you can't go forward. It's using the love that we have for our cats and dogs and transferring it to Krishna, to our family, society, our nation, our this cause or that cause. When we transfer the account, quote unquote, to Krishna, to Srila Prabhupada, Krishna's pure devotee, we start to get a taste, and that makes us want more. So that's how I understand that. And if we look at the purport, it says that of that verse, Tesham Satata Yuktanam, in the purport, at the bottom of the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that even if a person doesn't have a great philosophical understanding, the qualification render, where is that? Oh, there. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached. I can't see because there's some
Maybe
pictures.
attached to a spiritual organization, but still, if he is not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty.
So if we and then he explains what's the qualification after the qualification, that he engage himself with love and devotion. So he's not intelligent enough to understand all the things. What is bhava? What is prema? What is this stage? What is that stage? How can I describe all this higher philosophy? Never mind higher philosophy. We're neophytes. We're babies. Okay, good. But if we engage with the feeling genuine, Krishna will, he'll share this understanding with us.
In a lecture yesterday, Prabhupada said, it was on the third canto I was listening to. Prabhupada said, Srimati Radharani, she cooks for Krishna, but she never cooks the same preparation twice. And she's cooked millions of preparations for Krishna and is never repeated. But because of the love that she imbibes and she invests into the process of cooking, Krishna goes mad after the taste of her cooking. And then the loving reciprocation is exchanged, and it just increases unlimitedly.
Shushukam kartam avyayam. That's amazing. It's so, our minds are very much materially qualified. I mean, so we tend to understand things from the point of view of how the material mind works. That's why so many are thinking Niyamagraha thinking. Niyamagraha thinking that if I accept the whole formula, Srila Prabhupada uses this word when he's talking about Niyamagraha. He says, if I doing the whole formula, that one day there will be a blessing because I'm doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then I'll have this love. He said, no, you're missing the point, he explains in that purport. The point is to engage with love now. Why not? It can only be because of doubt. He says, kick those doubts out. Associate with the pure devotee who has this radiant love for Krishna, and say, I want some of the action. I want a piece of the action. I want to know what he knows. And he's so willing to share with me because he's so kind. I want some of that. So it doesn't matter that we're neophytes, but we can begin. And Srila Prabhupada says the neophyte imbibes the taste of the devotion of the pure devotee in Bhagavatam 1.5.25. The neophyte imbibes the taste of devotion in association with the pure devotee, and when he tastes that, it'll make material things distasteful to him, and that's the first stage. And then he'll start to be steady, Srila Prabhupada says in that, and then he'll have spiritual emotions, and then he'll eventually have pure love of Krishna, and all of these stages developed by the association of the pure devotee, and that's the purport of this stanza, unquote. So he's saying the neophyte, this is what it begins. This means initiation, into this devotional process, means to begin being a devotee, not to begin doing mechanically a bunch of activities, and we're hoping that one day the bolt of lightning will come. Anyway, I talk a lot, but I I'm convinced that this is the philosophy. I feel myself to be the most foolish. I feel myself to be a rascal. I know it. I know my mind is everywhere. I know it. But in my sadhana, I try to make that, I don't do it mechanically, I try to make that connection. And then little by little, as I'm walking out the door onto my land and picking up my chainsaw, picking up my shovel, picking up my rake, that feeling of connection with Srila Prabhupada is starting to overflow into the arena of everyday life. little, 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 little. And that's where we have to be. It's called fixed up. It's like you get the screws or you get some contact cement and you put two pieces together with a wood and you put a vice grip on them and they're fixed up. You can't tear them apart. So Srila Prabhupada uses expressions like we have to become fixed up. So it begins in our sadhana. Sadhana is like our whole life should be fixed up. Our whole life should be devotional. But the sadhana is like an orientation period. We're hearing philosophy. Oh, yes. Orientation. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, not my to-do list. The to-do list is there. But I heard a quote last night I heard Srila Prabhupada said, you can forget everything. He said that. But don't forget this devotional context. You can forget because Krishna will cover for you. I'm thinking, well, what if I don't hold it all together? I have so much mail telling me you have to attend to this, you have to attend to that, you have to fix the plumbing, you have to get wood for the wood stove. My wife will be cold. So he said, if you really have this faith that all I have to do ultimately, look, Srivas Thakur, Lord Chaitanya asked him, I don't know if it was in Chaitanya Bhagavat or Chaitanya Charitamrita, he said, you're not taking care of, you're a family man, and you have servants in your home, and you have everything, and so much responsibility, and you don't seem to be taking care of it. You don't seem to be worried about how you make a living. And you know what Srivas said? I'm your devotee, said to Lord Chaitanya. And if you don't want to take care of me and everything goes to hell in my household, I'll just go and kill myself. But I'm taking shelter of devotional service. And okay, we can't jump to that. I can't jump to that. But the idea is that if we have this faith, that's really the most important thing, and everything else will work out little by little. Don't be so. My wife is always telling me, don't be so contracted around getting this done, getting that done, and that's not working, and then I'm getting tense, and I'm getting what are some of these words? I can't think of the right words at the moment, but she said, obsessed. Yeah, I'm so obsessed, she says, with getting everything perfect and getting everything. I'm always trying to improve my, I have 3 clipboards. One's for things to do on the land, one's for things to do when I go to town. Another one is administrative things. They're on my desk. I'm trying to be organized and and things don't work and I get obsessed. And Srila Prabhupada says you can forget everything, but don't forget this devotional. Don't forget Krishna. Don't forget like that. And Krishna will promises, I supply I keep what they have, and provide what they lack. Krishna he just wants us to become devotees, and he'll always help us. Doesn't mean we should become lazy or irresponsible. We should try our best, but not at the expense of trying to be devotional. And I talk too much. Hare Krishna.
Vidura Prabhu. Go
Jai,
ahead.
Haribol, that
Yeah.
was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. I have to go now. Thank you very much. Wonderful session, Prabhuji. Absolutely wonderful. Much appreciated. All glories to your service. Thank you.
You have no idea. You see, I can't do these things without people like you. I can't. It's impossible. Only I can. there you have no idea how meaningful it is to be with devotees like yourself. We're
And
trying
me,
to understand.
and me, yes. Without association, it's meaningless. Yeah. Thank you. My daughter just came home. I have to go and look after family stuff now. Thank you very much. That was wonderful. All glories. Hare Krishna.
Okay, devotees, is there anyone else who wants to say anything? Ramachandra Prabhu, Mother Radhe.
I also have sold here, and if no one wants to say or then I'll excuse myself and put some wood in the stove. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Thanks. Hare Krishna.
Ishan Prabhu, yeah, deeply, deeply from the depths of our heart, all of us, we really appreciate the wonderful sharing you're doing with us. And don't forget, dear devotees, Ishan Prabhu has to wake up and he's giving this class at 6 a.m. his time. And,
No, I should be up long before that.
yeah, most people say, "Oh man, it's my japa time. I'm not going to class." So thank you so much for
I'll meet at any time anyone wants to be. Let them tell me what time and I'll meet them. Whatever works for them, because they're keeping me alive. Yeah.
Yeah, so don't forget, dear devotees, anybody out there who wants Ishan's WhatsApp number to have personal talks with him, you can contact me or contact Ramachandra Prabhu. We happily give it to you, and he's really happy to have a one-to-one conversation also.
Or Zoom or whatever, 575-313-3037. 575-313-3037. We ain't, people have service is our most important product. Like that. Hare Krishna. Thanks, Prabhu.
All glory to you.
Jai Radhe.
Jai Sri Radhe.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Dear Prabhu, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Take care. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai, and same place next Tuesday. Tell everybody about it.
6 o'clock.
Yes, 6 a.m. your time.